But why do you call it advice?
Pardon?
Why do you call the content of this document an
The
advice?
last, can I read the last paragraph? She says, I would like to advise
Yes.
that you should avoid processes that may lead to unnecessary disputes for the city.
Indeed. But she's not advising on the redeployment. She's advising against unnecessary disputes.
Yes, ma'am.
So the section we are reading does not relate to challenging the redeployment by Chief Mapia. The section that deals with the redeployment is in the first paragraph. And she concludes that statement by saying, by challenging that he has been moved to a different position as director by law enforcement position, which is not what was approved. Approved by who? Considering that this is communication to the chief of police.
I explained earlier on that the chief of police has powers in terms of the SAPS Act. Also, he's governed by the Systems Act, Section 56, in conjunction with the systems of delegation. So, Ms. Gasheka, I'm sure she will talk more about it because an HR matter is a labor relation matter. She will talk more about it. I'm sure she based, I assume that she based her decision on the systems of delegation.
And that was your understanding on receipt of this letter as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in this instance, whose approval was necessary to obtain by Chief Mapia before he effected that transfer?
Approval. Remember the approval, the transfers and recruitment processes. These are HR matters. He was supposed to have a discussion with Linda Gasheka. But here I can see they have their own interaction and communication. And the approval of actually transferring Julius or removing from his this position to the other. He was supposed to do it because he's the head of department.
Yes.
And Julius reports to him.
So what approval did you understand that Ms. Gasheka specifically indicated needed to be sought? From who? From you as the city manager? Or from her as the head of department? I'm trying to get your understanding on seeing this.
Linda Gasheka will answer for herself.
I'm trying to get your understanding. That's why I'm not asking you why she said. I say, what did you understand?
My understanding is that the letter is like advising. That is my understanding then. That she was advising the chief of police. If the chief of police was sort of uncomfortable with this advice of uplifting the suspension, he was supposed to actually escalate the matter. That he is forced by Linda or another HOD because they're at the same level, that he was instructed to uplift the suspension.
Hence my question to you. They're on the same level. You are the city manager.
Yes.
Mr. Sheka says it can't happen without approval. Whose approval was she referencing? Is it your approval because both of them report to you?
It's obvious.
Okay. If it is that obvious, what approval was this that you had to be sought from you? And where does your power to approve that derive from?
Remember, I referred you to the systems, to two pieces of legislation that the chief had those powers. So Ms. Gasheka, in her response, that's why I said, I assume she used the systems of delegations and she ignored the SAPS Act in terms of the powers of the chief of police.
So do you conclude that she was correct?
I'm saying she was not correct to say approval by who?
Yes.
Remember, I referred and I said I assumed that she relied on the systems of delegations and ignored the SAPS Act.
Okay.
In terms of the powers that are assigned or delegated to, or assigned to the chief of police, not even delegated, assigned.
Yes, that's a correct term, I agree with you. Commissioner?
Oh. No, if you're continuing on the theme, carry on.
I'm moving to the next document.
Oh, no, please let me ask. Ms. Mashazi, Dr. Mashazi, sorry, in that annexed bundle of my PA still, and it's about this discussion about the authority of Mr. Sheka. If you go to page 177, it is an upliftment of suspension to, and it's addressed to Mr. Mkhwanazi, Brigadier Mkhwanazi, it's Kasheka, and you are copied as you have agreed that it's not your office, it is you copied. Now, that last paragraph there, it's not advice, it's telling Brigadier, this comes from the head of HR, to whom Brigadier Mkhwanazi doesn't report, as you have told us. He reports to Chief Mapia, who has the power to discipline, which you have conceded. But in that last paragraph, Mr. Sheka tells Mr. Brigadier Mkhwanazi that his suspension is uplifted and he must come back to work. From your evidence, it seems Mr. Sheka did not have the authority to uplift the suspension of Brigadier Mkhwanazi, and that authority lies with Chief Mapia. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know why she would have copied you? You don't get involved, you've told us, with disciplining of junior employees. And here you are. There's quite a number of correspondence where you're not copied, but when we now look at the suspension issue, you are copied. And you see that at page 177, at 178, you are copied again. This is the document you've just been discussing now with Ms. Sillo. And then again at page 179, it's Chief Mapia writing to Mr. Sheka, and he copies you. Why would they have copied you about a junior employee that you have absolutely no interest or authority to discipline?
I wouldn't understand, and I can't answer that, ma'am. Why would they copy me? Because Mkhwanazi is way far too low for me to be copied in terms of departmental processes. Page 177, the letter that is signed by Kasheka.
Yes.
I was not copied.
You are copied. If you look at the bottom,
The top one, the 24th May.
Yes. If you look right at the bottom, I thought you agreed with Ms. Sillo, just below Ms. Kasheka's email, signature. Beg your pardon.
And the next one, 178, I was copied, but I'm saying that they should explain the reasons why they copied me on junior official matters.
And you didn't ask, why are they copying you?
I deal with so many things, ma'am. And so many correspondence are coming into my office. So my email is like, and I get, in fact, I get queries from the public, number one. I get queries from this 26 department. Some of the CC documents, they get lost in the process because I deal with many issues.
Maybe let me put to you why it is of interest, why they have copied you, why that question is of interest and would require an answer. It's because the evidence that we have had, or the testimony that we have had so far, is that you had a hand in the decision not to discipline Brigadier Mkhwanazi eventually, which we have seen part of on the interview where you say you made a decision not to discipline him. There is also testimony that you were involved in the discussion or in the decision ultimately of Mr. Sheka to uplift his suspension and have him return to work. That's why the interest in my questions, at least, that you are copied on an HR matter that involves a junior employee. And there are these allegations that we've had that you had a direct involvement in how the disciplinary process against him eventually was aborted and scuppered.
I want to state categorically that I did not participate in the suspension nor the upliftment of the suspension. I deny all the facts that they indicated, that I participated, I called them, I did everything. I deny those facts.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. I want to refer you then to the next document in the same file, and that's annexure JM 31, that starts at page 179. If you've located the document, this is a letter from Chief Mapieye, dated the 20th of June 2023. And it is addressed to Mr. Shekhar and copied to yourself. You see at the top of that.
Yes.
Now, in this particular letter, Chief Mapieye states, and I quote, "In my capacity as Chief of Police, Head of Department EMPD, I'm directly responsible for discipline and managing of all EMPD members and staff." Do you see where I've just read?
Yes, ma'am.
I will then jump the next paragraph and go to the third, where he invokes the provisions of section 64C2B, and he quotes what it provides, subject to the applicable laws. He, Mr. Mapieye, as chief, will be responsible for the recruitment, appointment, promotion, and transfer of members of the municipal police service. You see in italics that quotation. Then he continues to state, "I redeployed Brigadier Mkhwanazi to perform the functions of the Director Bylaws Operation and Specialized Division with effect from 24th May 2023 till the disciplinary matters have been concluded." Next paragraph, "I ensured that Brigadier Mkhwanazi was treated fairly and in the best interest of council and the EMPD department. It is important to note that no legal rights and or benefits or salary of Brigadier J. Mkhwanazi are being infringed upon." And I will stop there. My question is, you are copied once again in this communication. Do you have a difficulty with the correctness of what Chief Mapieye states in that letter?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you have a difficulty with the correctness of the content of that letter?
I don't have.
As a city manager, why did you not advise Mr. Shekhar accordingly? That on this score, Chief Mapieye is correct. You cannot direct that he redeploy. After he has deployed Mr. Mkhwanazi to this one unit, you cannot direct him to redeploy because section 64C2B, as quoted, actually gives him the exclusive power. Why didn't you do so? To correct Mr. Shekhar's error.
I think in my package or whatever, there's a letter
Yes.
where Chief of Police wrote to me and complaining about Gasheka and the process and so forth, where I addressed Gasheka and also General Mkhwanazi.
We'll deal with that. I think that was in relation to
No,
the
I'm
appointment by the
responding to
55.
say I did something about this and there's a letter to that effect.
No, what I'm pointing out to you, Doctor, is that letter, and we will get to it. It's in relation to the appointment of the 55 people to various posts by Mr. Mkhwanazi. So we will get to that letter. This particular correspondence we are dealing with relates purely and solely to the redeployment by Chief Mapieye of Mr. Mkhwanazi, as he says, pending the conclusion of the disciplinary processes. My question to you is, if you accept that he's correct here, as a city manager and copied on this communication, why didn't you correct Mr. Shekhar to say, you're going down the wrong lane?
As I indicated that Ms. Gasheka, maybe she's not aware of the SEPS Act because everything is based on the SEPS Act in terms of the powers that are assigned to the Chief of Police. Her understanding, I assume, that it was through the Systems of Delegations and Municipal Systems Act. So that's why it is important that the author of the letter explains her position in terms of this. In terms of the misunderstanding, well, there's always misunderstanding between the HOD, HR, and other departmental heads in terms of her role as an enabler. Remember, she's playing a supporting role towards all the departments in terms of recruitment, discipline, and so forth, because labor relations, it is one of her functions. Chief of Police is one of the HODs that would have challenges with how she did things, but at some point in this letter, in this documents, I address the issues about the other overstepping her powers.
Perhaps let me assure you, the author of these documents will definitely come to the Commission to explain. I am not, and I cannot expect you to speak on her behalf. She'll speak for herself. My question to you was slightly different. You said you accepted the correctness of what Chief Mapie states. And I'm asking you, why did you not intervene at that stage to draw Ms. Kasheka's attention to the fact that on this score, Chief Mapie is correct?
In terms of my recollection, I don't want to say I did or I did not. Remember, these things happened in 2023, and I'm actually dealing with a lot of issues, to be honest, and I cannot be expected to remember each and every letter that was CC'd to me. As I indicated, that I'm running a big metro with 26 departments, over 18,000 employees with different challenges. So it is important to know that at some point, some of the things will actually not be dealt with accordingly in terms of my responsibilities as an accounting officer.
But surely, in this regard, there are a handful of HODs who report directly to you. It's not about the thousands of employees within EMPD or within the city, surely that you can deal with in your daily life at work.
As an accounting officer,
don't you give guidance to your direct reportees?
I do.
Okay.
But
your guidance was required here. What happened?
But
you say you don't remember whether or not you gave it.
Yes, I don't. I don't remember, to be honest, ma'am, whether I did or I did not. But all I remember, because there's documentation here, I addressed the matter.
When and how?
I addressed the matter in my letter to them, where I even requested the chief of police to draw up a policy and indicated to both Kasheka and Mkhwanazi that they cannot overstep their mandate and they must respect the authority of the chief of police.
As I pointed out to you, that was regarding the employment of the 55.
Yes.
Yes. Not regarding Mr. Mkhwanazi's redeployment. It was a different issue. And I concede that you did write a letter to that effect. So you are not entirely correct to say you addressed this issue, this particular issue before.
This one I did not address. I don't remember, I don't recall. Hence I'm saying I do not recall, ma'am.
I accept that.
As I was not involved, though I was CC'd, and I indicated in my response that I received too many emails.
Yes.
And the CC ones obviously will not take precedence to the ones that are directed to me.
As a matter of interest, what was the practice within the city? What is the purpose of copying you in some correspondence, as Commissioner Baloyi correctly pointed out? In some correspondence you are not copied, in others you are. What is the relevance of that, and on what is the decision based as to when to copy you and not to copy you?
I don't know at what point they decide to copy me. Hence, I'm saying the authors of the letters who copied me must actually talk to those letters, why they copied me.
So are you suggesting that because you don't know why they copied you at the time you received them, you never considered them?
To be honest, I never even read this. I see this thing, I now recall this thing because I see them. But as I indicated, these things, they happened in 2023, and you can imagine the amount of work and the emails that one receives on a daily basis. They are too much.
With wisdom of hindsight, would you agree that these are important matters, considering the basis for the suspension and the charges against Mr. Mkhwanazi, the blue light saga?
Correct.
And that, and again I say with benefit of hindsight, you perhaps ought to have paid better attention to the issue and intervened appropriately as city manager. Would you accept that?
Correct.